All right, welcome to a political walk and talk. I'm a tired boy. Everything's just been up in the air. My dad had knee replacement surgery, so I finally got some sleep. Was worried about that one, but everything went well. So I was well enough to go for a little hike and talk to you guys a little politics. The main subject that I want to talk about, we'll get to the economy in a second, but I wanted to talk about Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, basically the third most powerful person in the country. If you guys didn't know, it goes President, Vice President, Speaker of the House. So if something happens to them, he would become the president. That's how powerful this guy is. He was being questioned by reporters walking around the halls of Congress and just casually dropped the news that Donald Trump was an FBI informant and he was actually helping to take down Jeffery Epstein. Bro, they can't even keep up their own narrative. They can't even, it's such a mess. Nobody with a brain could even figure this out. Let's go down it, okay? He runs on transparency, that they're going to release the Epstein files, all right? They're going to expose all of the bad people, which, of course, in his mind is liberals. Couldn't possibly be more complex than that and be, liberals, moderates, independents, Republicans, it's everybody. It's just a mix of everybody that was on that island or was working with Epstein or was diddling. It probably was just people he doesn't like. Then, he invites a bunch, after he wins, invites a bunch of right-leaning influencers to the White House and hands them the Epstein list, has them hold these folders up that say Epstein, was it like First Wave or whatever, it was like an Avengers movie. There was nothing new in there. All that information is stuff that you can find on online already. They didn't release anything new at all. And so people pointed that out. Well, things cooled. And then it started picking up steam again. And people were like, well, wait, what's happening here? And then he comes out and says, the entire thing's fake. It's a hoax. It doesn't exist. It's a Democratic hoax to try to hurt me. And then after that, he decides to say, a couple days later, he says, well, I am in there, but it's only because the Democrats were trying to do that hoax to get me. So he admitted he was in there, which this is a talking point that everybody I debate with them about this, every one of them is like, well, he was just on the plane. No big deal. Then why doesn't he fucking release the list? If all of his involvement in this is so innocent, why did he come out and say that the Dems put him in there to hurt him and make him look bad? How is just being on a plane making you look bad? He admitted that he is all over this thing. So now he has settled on Democratic hoax by Obama and Biden, even though Epstein died under his watch the first term, and one of his major cabinet members gave Epstein the sweetheart deal initially that helped him to avoid serious prison time, and also ignored the victims of Epstein's crimes, which you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to go to them and tell them what's going to happen before you do it, and they just completely left them out of the loop on this thing. But then we get to the fact that, shout out to Marjorie Taylor Greene, never thought I'd say those words, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ro Khanna, and his name, Thomas Massie, I got it. Shout out to those three in particular, because they come together and they are demanding that the full list be released. They want to do an action on the House floor where they'll vote for it, and they're saying that they may have enough votes to force the release of these documents. And then, of course, the White House is doing everything in their power to stop this from happening. I mean, even going after their own people in this regard, like Thomas Massie is just getting absolutely railed by his own party. And, even Lauren Boebert signed on to this. What? What? My girl, my sexy girl, Bobo, signed on. So That's why this haymaker came out of nowhere. They're really afraid. They are terrified that this is going to come out, because I have a theory here. They've seen this. They've seen the list. They've seen the information. They know. That's what I think. I'm curious if you guys agree or not. If you can come up with a different reasoning. They know that this list, like what's on here, what Trump did, what other Republicans did. I'm sure, of course, what other liberals did, like Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, etc. But they've seen it. Like, you don't see representatives walking around after they've talked to victims, sobbing. Unless they know what's up. They know who's on this thing. They know what's happening. And then you have Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, say, well, Trump was actually helping to take down Epstein. What? So wait, he was helping to take down Epstein by helping with a Democratic hoax that was made up by Obama? Oh, God, what is this? What are we doing here? Trump is definitely on that list, and he's definitely done some really horrible stuff. Or a bunch of really prominent, powerful Republican donors are. That's it. Otherwise, there's no reason why they would be holding this back. So now it looks like they are getting ready to do a third release. The first two didn't put anything new out. They're planning on doing a third. Well, I think we're going full circle. I think now you're going to get just the names of people that they don't like. They're just going to say, fuck it, let's just throw all the people we don't like under the bus and say that's the complete list. So good on Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna, Marjorie Taylor Greene. They said that they are planning on, if the White House doesn't comply, they're planning on talking to the victims, getting a full list of every one of those victims that they saw there, that they were assaulted by, and they're going to go on the floor of Congress, and they're just going to say all the names if the White House doesn't comply, which apparently they're legally allowed to do. They have immunity as long as they do it on the floor, the House floor. Awesome. Shout out to them, man. I cannot stress enough. I hope that there's nothing, weird about this or some sort of sneaky thing. Thomas Massie, I totally trust at this point for this particular thing, because he is, he's an ideology guy. He doesn't play games usually. He doesn't jump around in hoops to please the dear leader. He'll still schmooze, but ultimately, I believe that he actually wants to get this list out. And Ro Khanna, I trust. Marjorie Taylor Greene, we'll see. But what is happening, dude? What is going on right now? The other thing I wanted to talk about was jobs numbers came back. Terrible. Economy is nosediving. It's bad. Again, layman here. I'll just tell you from what I've seen, it's not looking good. The Trump administration comes out, Trump himself comes out and says, well, these aren't the real numbers. In a year after the tariffs pay off and all of the investments companies are making pay off, then you'll see the real numbers. That's crazy that he said that. This man never admits fault, and he didn't here, but he never admits that he lost or that he's doing poorly. He kind of did. He is throwing a lot of the blame onto the Fed not lowering interest rates. It's those tariffs, man. I'm sorry. Yes, I know that they are making the government a lot of money, but that does not translate to us, to regular people, to companies, because the problem with tariffs, if you don't do them properly, they can be good, but if you don't do them properly and you don't invest in industry here in the country, well then all you're doing is just raising the price that we pay for goods. That's it. And that's what the jobs rate showed. It showed that corporations are just on a pause. If anything, they're firing people. A lot of corporations are also firing full-time employees and only hiring part-time, so that they don't have to give any health care, they don't have to pay you as much, your benefits are much, much lower, if you even get any. So the economy is just sitting right now. Corporations do not want to invest in anything. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to risk anything, because they know that right now everything's uncertain. And again, when you have a capitalist system, certainty is how it works. You can't just sit around and go, well, maybe it'll get better. Companies are going to invest when they're certain that things are going better. So unless you're a tech company, part of that AI bubble, which I do think is going to pop very soon, everything's going bad. Everything's going in the wrong direction. And I don't know what else to say about it, man. I can't believe the cope that I'm seeing from people who, if this was under a Democratic president, they would be calling for impeachment. They'd say that they fumbled the economy. How could it be this bad? But because it's Trump, they're like, oh, well, what can you do? That's the best one. And then the ones that are crazy are just saying, it's all fake. It's going great. It's good. Oh, holy shit. I'm so shocked at how fast everything's nosediving. I compared this to rats on a sinking ship getting every dime that they can before we're fully submerged. Because I don't know how you turn this around. Even if they lower the interest rates, it's not going to save things. If companies are just refusing to invest in the future and their employees and putting money into the economy, I don't know, man. All right. There you go. I didn't even get into RFK and his psychotic interview with Congress. Just to touch on it real quick. Apparently, the country has decided that bringing measles back and having kids die from diseases that we eliminated years ago is better than collectively watching out for your fellow person in society by getting a simple vaccine that every doctor on the planet with a brain would say is safe, minus if you have any pre-existing conditions sometimes. Wow, wild. All right, I'm curious. There's a couple of you that I think are going to just sit there and just be like, TDS, let's do it, baby. Let's go.
Wreckless Eating! Wreckless Eating!